Alright, so here's our NavBar. So we go into the middle here, you'll see all different services. If you look on the left-hand side, you see the URL that it all links to. Here, these are also URLs, different pages. You see the left-hand corner. This one's a little bit different though. This is the function logout. That one's working. It's responsive, so as it gets smaller, the dashboard profile will disappear. There we go, services next. There we go. Now we're on the mobile view. Same thing there. This is also a function. Also works signed out. And same code there. Alright, so now that you get the basic idea of how that's working, let me go over the actual code. The big thing is that I changed the color here where I had the background and foreground flipped. So now the background is going to be white and the foreground, otherwise the text is going to be black, the opposite of what it was before. The layout here, how Hero UI works is that you import it and you wrap it as a divider around the root element. So the layout for Next.js. So there's the Hero UI and there's the header inside it there that I made. So of course the imported Hero UI elements. The main thing is that the NavBar menu toggle is specifically to toggle the mobile nav. NavBar menu is specifically the mobile NavBar, it's not used for the regular NavBar, so it helps keep things a little bit clearer. List of services, the big thing is that I noticed these list of services here, they get repeated a lot. It's used on the desktop, it's used on the mobile nav, and it's also going to be used in the Hero section and maybe in other sections we have this a little later. So I went ahead and I created a data folder. Oh, there it is. There's the data folder, and I put the services in there. So let me pop this. You see it's just all put here. That way we just export this data when you make changes. It's just in one spot and it gets edited everywhere else. Saving us a little bit of time. This you can toggle true or false to change how it views for a signed in user versus one that's not signed in. Logout function. Alright, and this is just another term for the list of services. I just want to make it clear these are ones that don't change. We could have just left it as list of services, but that's just a choice I made. We can't get rid of that and just use list of services later when we want to map through the items. So for this, basically we have two different types of menus. We have the logged in menu, the guest menu, and they both have the static menu types that don't change, all the static menus. But basically two different menus. For the logged in menu, this one has a special on-click button, so I needed to tell TypeScript to handle that one a little bit differently. Otherwise, of course, TypeScript understands these ones, it's just strings. So there we go, and the mobile nav is just, it's just going as the user signed in. So I'm going to grab this one. If it's not signed in, I'm going to grab this one, and then add the static menu items down here to make the mobile nav. It's the actual nav itself. So down here, this is going to have the logo. And for logo, I made it an image, and we can change it to a Next.js image element if we want, or component, I should say. But the reason why I went with a native image, because one, we won't resize in dimensions, so layout shift won't be an issue. Two, it never resizes, and we're not planning on using different logos for different screen sizes. Three, it's on top of the page, so we don't need to lazy load it. 4, Versa will already cache images in the public folder and serve over an SDN, or CDN, sorry. So there isn't really much of a point to using a Next.js image component, but we can later if we decide to. And here's the middle section here, so that's the drop down for all the services. So this one's just the trigger there. It's just a service button to trigger it to drop. And then this is the actual elements, the drop-down items. So we're just going through all those menu items that don't change and creating drop-down item elements. This is the right section. So if the user is not signed in, if they're a guest, then we're going to have the first guest item here, the sign up. And then we're going to have the login button down here. And the reason why I didn't map through these is because this one's styled as a button and this one's just a regular link. If we want to keep that look, we can't just map through them like we could for that middle element. If the user is signed in, there's a few more other options they have. So they have dashboard, they have profile, and then they have that logout button down here. And then last up is the actual mobile NavBar. So we created that array for the mobile nav. So we're going to map through them all, just create basic links. The only thing here is I needed a type card of TypeScript, icon the technicalities here, what happened with it, but that way the sign out button would work. And yeah, so that's what we have for the NavBar so far.